What's up, guys? Right in the middle of Christmas season, of course. It's me, Ray, out here with Bearding Without Borders. Hope everybody's having a great week so far. I'm actually gonna jump right into our, of course, our fun beard fact for the week. Since we are talking about the guests that we have tonight, we're going to be talking more about more of the Midwest and what people consider some of the flyover states or the frontier states. So the person that I wanted to focus on tonight is a gentleman called Seth Kinman. Seth Kidman was a frontiersman. He was based mainly in California, but he made the trek across from the eastern side back after the Civil War. He was a known hunter and trapper. He's actually considered one of the greatest hunters of the generation, killing an estimated over 800 grizzly bears. But what makes him actually really cool is he was also more of a craftsman on top of all that. He actually crafted several chairs for the presidents during that time and did as much as he could. He actually did chairs for James Buchanan, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Johnson, and Rutherford B. Hayes, gifting those chairs for them to be able to sit at the White House. He did spend a little bit of time, of course, in Oklahoma, which is the state that we're going to be talking with our gentleman tonight from. You guys all know who I'm going to be bringing on when I mention his name. He is a member of Mad Biking chapter of the Oklahoma chapter. He is a good friend of mine and Andrew, of course. Allegedly, Andrew's dad. We'll go into that, but no, joking. But our guest tonight, of course, is Mr. Dan Grits Tackleson, Mr. Daddy Dan himself.
What's up?
What's up, brother?
Not much. Thinking about coming out of the basement, but I thought, man, it might look a little corny since I'm standing in my bedroom.
Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail on the relationship between you and Andrew, but
That's probably good.
that's probably a good idea. I just keep waiting for you to tell Andrew that he's grounded. So
yeah, that could happen at any time.
I'll remember that. Looks like we already got a couple people popping in. Mr. Yukon, what's up, brother? Hey, Kyle.
What's up, guys?
So, man, you've had an exciting year. Like it's been a very and not necessarily in a good way. It's
no, not.
But you've been a very busy man. I've actually, Lord, I've seen you all over the place this year. You've been kind of doing a little bit of globe trotting. My last time I seen you was, of course, at Monsters Ball Lord, it's a little over a month ago now.
Yep.
And you're still making the treks. I know you were. Did you go to Harry Holidays this past weekend?
I did not go to Harry Holidays. It was my granddaughter's birthday party that day. So, sorry, guys. Yeah. You lose out to the granddaughter every time.
Hey, I mean, somebody's got to spoil that kid, right?
Absolutely. Her grandmother.
But I know that you're also in mid-prep, and, well, I guess you're going to be finalizing because the competition's this weekend. You have been helping out and getting everything organized for Core 4 Brewing, the third annual Mustache Bash, which all the proceeds are going to be donated to Sharing Tree that's going on this weekend. How's that been for you guys?
It has been a new experience. As you guys are well aware, especially in Mad Biking, we don't typically do beard comp anywhere other than the Monsters Ball. So this is Buck's third one. Buck's a brewer. He has a nice beard, but he's a brewer. He doesn't do beard comps and that kind of thing. I went to his first one, and I was like, hey, we can't throw a comp, but we can definitely help you with it because we go to comps. We kind of know that business. So
right.
This year, I didn't get to go last year. I think I was down in Texas at a different comp when he had his. So this year, when it kicked off, he hit me up, and I'm like, absolutely, more than happy to help you. So, I kind of helped him get some judges. Talked to the boss man, Jason Seelan, obviously, and got Mad Biking to sponsor it. So we're kind of hoping that this one kind of picks up. It's been fairly small because, like I said, Buck's a brewer. He's not a beer competition guy. So I kind of helped with pushing the advertisement, got on the beard calendar, getting it out there with you guys. I know the Sinners talked about it. They wanted me to come on the show, but I didn't have a chance to get on their show and talk about it. Wish I could have. Those guys were awesome. I like working with the Sinners. They do good work too, just like everybody else out there. Obviously,
yeah.
Mom. So I just, I kind of reached out and kind of went, hey, this guy puts on comps every year. Never really been big because he's a brewer. Let's see what we can do to help him out. So, as you mentioned, the proceeds all go to Sharing Tree. It's a local charity for, there you go, Sharing Tree at the bottom. So everything's going to them. His big thing is this year, Christmas time. So they help out unfortunate families who don't necessarily have the means to give a great Christmas to their kids. So the competition is $20 entry for anybody who's going to compete. And if you're not going to compete, all they do is ask you if you can bring an unwrapped new toy. So they're giving those to Sharing Tree as well to kind of help out with Christmas presents and stuff like that.
See, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing is like, like the idea behind, especially right around the holidays, making sure a family and children have presents to go with. Like, I really dig that. If it goes on next year, we will definitely be trying to make the trek out. Me and Haley were actually, right before we went live, me and Haley were trying to figure out miles and hours and, like, can we find a hotel that's going to be close by, or maybe Dan and Carol would put us up for the night. It's just a little, it's 830 miles, guys. I don't know if I have the gumption to make that trek tomorrow. So
yeah, it's it's doable. I came to Kentucky for a comp.
You're gonna hurt my feelings, Dan. Okay.
Well, I'm quite sure that Buck is going to do it next year. I mean, he really likes doing this at the Christmas time to help out Sharing Tree. So, I mean, you know me, I'm always about doing the charity stuff. So,
absolutely.
I kind of push my people. I'm like, hey, if you're going to compete and it's $20 entry, don't be a tight ass. Bring a gift too. I mean, how hard can that be? So,
right. I got an idea. I want to get some eyes on this one. I want to get some eyes on this, and like, for the people that are going to be out there, hey guys, do me a favor, share this video out, put it out to the pages. That way, everybody kind of gets an idea of what's going on this weekend out in OKC. Let's blow this episode up so everybody can kind of hear what we're doing and what they've got going on out there, because this is going to be a great thing if you can make it out, or even if you want to donate. I know that Sharing Tree, I think it's sharingtree.org. If you pull that back up there real quick, Andrew. Like, this is the program that they're putting all the donations towards. Anything you guys can do to help them, let's try to make sure that a family in need is taken care of for this Christmas. So if you guys don't mind, let's put that out there. Let's get some more eyes out. We're going to go back into it. You can pull that down. But so with you getting all the comp information, and you've been definitely making some moves, like, and you talked about getting Sealand on board to help sponsor. That's big. I don't know how many people realize like how big that is, because up until this year, I've not seen Mad Viking do a lot of sponsorships in the last few years on other competitions. So that's a pretty big deal.
Well,
and
so
I know they're going to be doing a lot more next year as well. But like getting your brand, getting them to give that stamp of approval to help out is awesome, because you don't, like I said, you don't see that often.
Well, and that's the big thing down here. If you think about the surrounding states, we're pretty much the only flag over in this area.
Right.
I do what I can to push our company. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of beer companies out there that are good quality stuff. I'm not here to debate or dispute that.
Right.
but I'm Mad Viking. So I push when I can, and if uh, this is the second comp in Oklahoma this year, so the centers do one in Ardmore
Yep.
every year. So I kind of work with Billy on that one to kind of get us out on that page too. So we got to get our name out there. What better way to do it than a beard comp or
Uh,
any other charity event?
absolutely. And honestly, like I follow. I looked at all the pictures and whatnot from the Ardmore comp that the Centers put on. It looked like a great show, which ironically was. So when I started working on this show, I had to sit down with Aaron from Honest Amish, and we talked for 2 hours while he was driving to Ardmore, and we talked about everything under the sun when it comes to the podcast and doing videos and stuff like that. So it's like it's just kind of funny how that kind of comes full circle.
Yeah,
So
and Aaron's a great dude. Honest Amish sponsors a lot of comp. I figured
they
it's
do a lot of work in the community.
time to start stealing a little bit of that if we can. I'd like us to push just as hard. And don't get me wrong, their products are great. I happen to like our stint better, but that's just me. Everybody has their own little thing. But I will push Mad Viking to the day I die because I think it's a true product that's worth having. So just
I
me.
I I think that every company out there has a value. I use a lot of Honest Amish. Of course, I use Mad Viking. Um, when it comes to balm and oil and whatnot, those are my go tos. Uh, I've got a lot of Honest Amish stuff over the last couple of years because of competitions and going out and raffles and stuff. And so when I see somebody new to the bearding community, I will, if I don't need it, I will give it. And
Right.
so like whether it's Mad Viking, Honest Amish, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna pay it forward for all the things that they've done. And the Honest Amish has done a lot for the community. They've been like Aaron has definitely been a globetrotter, quite literally.
Yeah.
Uh, this past year, I think he at the time I think he had done when we talked a couple weeks ago. He done 49 competitions this
He's
year.
a busy man. He's a busy man.
Right. Like so that's insane. So I got a question, and it's actually been a question that I've had for a while. Uh, now, for the people that aren't familiar with Mad Viking and our club cultures and whatnot, we have this thing we call them Z names. Not everybody's got one, and we're gonna wrap back to the comp here in just a little bit because there's a couple other things. Look at this. Just I'm gonna stop right there. We said his name too many times.
Like Beetlejuice. Just stay praying.
What's up,
What's
Barefoot? So I told you, like 2 weeks in a row, I'm feeling pretty special right now. So,
Yeah.
but no, so we were talking about Z names. So Z names, it's not everybody has one. I personally do not have one at this time, and but like there's a lot of people that do, and then there's a lot of people, of course, the majority does not. But I know most of the stories behind most of the Z names that are out there at this point, and I have a general idea of where yours comes off of, but I gotta hear the story of how you got it.
So I mean it's hard to ask the person who got it if they got it the same way I did. So I received my Z name because I was submitted. So a VP, and of course, working with my lovely wife, Carol, they submitted me for the Z name. And I don't think what I got was actually the initial name that they were going for, but I think somebody else had that name somewhere. I don't know. So, and I can't even tell you what the original idea was because I wasn't part of it.
Right.
So basically, what it boiled down to was grit, because they said, well, and my VP Josh Marlowe was the one who actually put me in. I think submitted it. I don't know. I tried not to get into that mess either, because you know you don't really ask when you receive something. So I know he and Carol worked together, and they submitted me, and it came down to when I was talking to him. He said, "Well, the original name was taken. We went with grit because you basically don't stop there. You have the grit to keep on pushing. So then you throw a Z on there. That's how you get grit."
Now, if you ask Barefoot, he's going to tell you that you're lying. It's just because you like to eat grits.
I do like grit. That's not a lie.
Hey,
But
you know what? I can relate. I'm a grits guy myself, so.
I'm pretty sure that's not how I got my Z name. However,
So, and I anytime I bring on a member of Mad Viking that has a Z name, I have to ask because I love hearing the stories. Like honestly, it's always fun to hear how people got there. It's like if you've not heard Brandon Barnes, you should definitely hear his. I did if you guys haven't, I did Brandon Barnes back in October, and he was a lot of fun.
yeah.
So
Well, I mean, some of the names are handed out like in action.
right.
So something happened and you end up with a Z name. Mine wasn't like that, and I'm kind of glad because some of those can go sideways. So
I've seen a few go sideways.
being submitted for one is a little safer usually, unless you're just doing some really crazy crap and you end up with a funky one. But I'm not complaining about mine.
Yeah, I've always said like if I get one, I hope that it's on a submission to where the people have time to think about it, and not because I do something weird. But Dad put mine out there. Thanks, Dad. So that's right. You submitted Andrew, didn't you?
I did submit Andrew.
And his was definitely well deserved. Michelle got hers back in. What is yours, Michelle?
You don't know?
I'm still trying to catch everybody with Z names. Like I've still got people popping up in my in like the suggested friends on Facebook with Z names in there, and I'm like, I don't think I've ever even seen this person. Bombshell. Okay. I've seen you, but I've not actually talked to you directly. Michelle, I hope you're having a great night. I'm sorry I didn't know your Z name right up top. So,
it's a long list.
it is a very long list. So going back into this, like, so you've been a part of Mad Viking Oklahoma since its inception. You were there during the flag raise, weren't you?
Just after the inception. I was part of the chapter, but not a paid member when the flag was raised. Okay. I joined right after the flag was raised.
So, and you are currently sitting as president of Oklahoma chapter.
Yeah, this will be my second term.
So, do you guys just finish your election? So, are you going to be sitting on your second term then, or?
I was uncontested
again. And Scott just popped up, the Buffalo hitter.
Yeah, that was part of the conversation where my year has been pretty well this year.
So for the people that don't know, and I don't know how they wouldn't, because you're everywhere and everybody loves you. Dan actually had an accident earlier this year, and somehow the only thing that got hurt besides his bike in his hand was his pride. Like when you hit a 2,000-pound animal like a brick wall and you walk away from it, I feel like you're a little invincible. So
it was a lucky morning. That was 4:30 in the morning that I won't forget for a long time.
So yeah.
Yeah, I remember somebody getting that picture. That's my new Christmas ornament. My dated Christmas ornament, thanks to my wife. I love her.
That's I mean, so you ended up breaking your thumb, wasn't that right?
No, I broke my fifth metacarpal. Basically, I got a boxer's fracture. So I broke this like right on the end of your hand. That was the only thing that I broke. I actually just yeah. Thanks, bud. That was the only thing that I broke. I didn't lay the bike down. Luckily, I don't know how, but managed to keep the bike up. Rode back home and had my lovely wife take me to the emergency room.
Yeah, I remember seeing that message that morning. Just, yeah, been an interesting morning at the ER
Yep.
because I hit a buffalo. Like, what the hell?
Yeah,
So,
people were like, "Oh, boy." Yeah, it happened.
so you guys just finished up the elections, and so you're going to be sitting president again this run. Who's going to be your VP?
My VP is Ashley Sullivan. She was our
Okay.
SAA last term, so she stepped up and is going to do the VP. My wife Carol is staying on as secretary. Um, we have a new SAA, and we have a couple of vacant spots that we'll be filling throughout the year, apparently, after we bring on some new members.
Okay. So what are you guys sitting at member wise right now?
We have 19, I believe 19 active members, paid members.
That's awesome. You guys are moving along. You're not too far from catching us.
Well, we actually had 26, but we've had some move out of the area. Some just stepped away just because they didn't have the time to commit. So they were like, I don't have the time to commit. They're still part of Mad Viking Oklahoma, just not a paid
Right.
member. So, and that was kind of our thing. We're like, don't just pay for a T-shirt. It's kind of crazy. If you have the time to commit, become a full-fledged member. That's great. If you don't, it's kind of crazy to waste money
And
on just to get a T-shirt.
and that's a big misnomer that a lot of people when they get into the club scene and they start getting into the chapters and whatnot, whether it be Mad Viking, anything, any chapter, they they think that just because they're active, they're not being able to be active because of work or life gets in the way, something like that. They always kind of falling to the wayside, and they're like, oh well, I'm just I don't have time to dedicate. And it's like we understand that doesn't mean that you have to move away from the chapter or anything like that. It just means that you can still be a part and get involved whenever you can. You just
Absolutely.
become not necessarily a paid member.
Right.
Like, and I keep trying to stress that with other members. Like we've had a few go through the same kind of struggle here in Kentucky, and I stress that to them. It's like just because you can't be involved all the time doesn't mean you can't be involved.
Right.
You know,
You don't need to be a member to be involved. We love help from anybody. So, don't look at it as that. We're doing charity work. Doesn't matter if you're an active member or if you're a non-paying member or you're just somebody that sees an event going on. Jump in. It's just like this comp.
exactly.
Go back to the comp.
Yeah,
Should we talk about the judges?
man. I was wondering if we should, and I think we're gonna go ahead and just let you do the introductions here because I see some familiar faces.
Yeah. So if you're not familiar with them, I'm going to say going from left to right as I'm looking at it, because that's what everybody else will be looking at it. So that's Miss Marie Holby, aka Mrs. Caveman, is going to be one of our judges. And I did convince her to make a beard for the competition as a judge, even. She's not competing, but she's going to have a beard on while she's judging. And then obviously to the far right is her husband, the one and only Crazy Caveman. That's probably one of the classic pictures of him. There are
Oh,
some other.
absolutely.
I don't know if they were probably rated for this. I mean, the guy in the middle, questionable about whether that's acceptable or not. But who can argue with Barefoot Brain, the banana suit? So let's throw that. So those are our three judges. Buck himself is going to do the emceeing, and
Okay. So
hoping to have a great tournament.
I think you're going to have a good turnout. And like I said, guys, let's if you're on this episode, let's share this out. Anybody in that area, let's get them there to go have some fun. If they're within a few hours drive, even they raise money for this. It's going to be a great comp. I just have this feeling. Can't wait to see pictures. I do have a funny story about Barefoot. I hope you're still in here, Barefoot. I hope you haven't left out because you might get a kick out of this. So, right after the Nashville comp, probably a day or two after, when all the pictures started coming out from the comp, and of course, Barefoot was not in his banana hammock. He's dressed up as a 6-shooter.
Yep.
And with that cartoon-ish, with a cartoon style cowboy hat. And my dad, who the only thing he knows about the beard and mustache community is what he's learned from myself and Haley, and then what he sees on Facebook, which to me, just going to put that out, it's still really weird for me to see my dad on Facebook because he was technologically inept for most of my life. He used a flip phone up until about 5 years ago. Smartphones were the only thing smartphones were good for him was to play Angry Birds. And so he's scrolling through the pictures from the comp, and he runs across Barefoot's picture. And he calls me and he goes, "It looks like it was a good time in Nashville, but who the hell was that crazy guy dressed up like a cowboy with Daisy Dukes on?" And I said, "Oh, that's Barefoot Brains. You know, he's a prominent member of our community and whatnot." And he's like, "That's crazy." He's like, "I wouldn't be caught dead wearing that." I'm like, "Oh, Dad, that was him tame."
Yeah.
I was like, he got told there was going to be kids there, so he decided to be a little bit more tuned down for this competition. And he's like, "If that's tuned down," he's like, "I am fucking terrified to see what it looks like otherwise." So now I will say he has seen the banana hammock picture, because that's not the first time that picture has floated around on this show. And he's mentioned it in brief passing. He's like, "Is that the same?" You know what? I don't want to know. He's like, "I don't want to know." So,
Well, he'll be there. So if you haven't met him, you need to be in Oklahoma City this weekend.
absolutely, Barefoot is honestly one of the coolest guys that I've met. He's genuinely a sweet guy. He will do whatever he can to help you out, and he loves this community. Oh, there's a good one.
I'm sure he'll have a ton of stickers. The man's got more stickers than Sticker Mule.
And yeah, if you guys have stickers and Barefoot does not have your stickers, please give him some, because he loves stickers.
Absolutely.
And then ask him to go ahead and give you a bundle, because he's got like 60. So we're getting some good crowd in here tonight. Will Einman, what? Yeah, and definitely gotta love Barefoot. Who's his inspiration to go chops?
There you go.
I am I don't think I could do chops. I don't think I have the. I don't. As Haley is yelling at me from the living room right now, it says no and ever. So
you have a different beard for Chops. Chops choose you. You don't choose Chops. Ask Brains, he'll tell you that. And he has been the inspiration for several people going Chops.
Like, honestly, Barefoot, you've been an inspiration, and you've been a great advocate for the community, even in your spiciness is what I'm going to call it tonight. So, and speaking about outfits, like, you were not the first one I've seen do it, but you're the one that I see that does it consistently. So if you guys have not seen Daddy Dan out at comps, the man shows up in a kilt no matter what.
Absolutely.
And you have, I don't know how many different kilts you've had, but I've seen you wear a few different ones. So
usually stick with Irish. I wear that. My wife's heritage is Irish. Eventually, I'll have her family kilt tartan probably, but haven't got it yet. But yeah, I figure it's one that's comfortable. I ain't gonna lie.
no, they're very comfortable. I have one as well.
if nobody knows the difference, there's a difference between a kilt and a skirt. If you don't know the difference, ask somebody wearing a kilt, but be careful because the answer you might get it may be visual. Yeah, I bet you're running low on stickers, friend. The dude's got a suitcase that he carries stickers in. That's how many stickers he's got.
Yep, I've seen it. I can
Thanks,
attest to
buddy.
that one.
You're awesome too.
I have a kilt, and I'm actually gonna be. So I'm done for the year, for competition. Even though me and Haley were still trying to figure out how to justify to go to OKC for the weekend now to come out there. My first competition is going to be in Texas in January at UMatter, which I've said multiple times now. But apparently, there's another competition going on February 11th in Florida that we're going to go to, and it's going to be at a Highland Games event.
Nice.
So I will be changing up my style for that event to wear my kilt in my boots. I just need a good spur in. So I love the one that you have, by the way. Like
that was actually handmade by my VP.
That it's a gorgeous one. So fucking A. I do love I love wearing the kilt. It doesn't fit the style that I go with typically, but I may have to start wearing a little more often.
You're way more dapper than I am. However, you can be dapper in a kilt.
That you can. So, and I personally, like, I've been kind of trying to figure out right now. I'm trying to figure out how to make this Viking theme for Caveman's comp into a dapper. So
that is not going to happen. There is no such thing as a dapper Viking.
I am going to prove you wrong. So I will. I promise you. So challenge accepted. Because Caveman said the same thing when I first started talking to him about it.
I may have to step up my game and bring the axe and the sword as well this time.
I mean, hey, look, Barefoot done said it right there. You can be dapper in a Speedo. I don't think I'm going the Speedo route, but
everybody can even wear a Speedo, so
I mean, but I can go for shock value, but I don't know. Like, I don't think it's going to be shock and awe. I think it'd be shock and So, all right. So, here's another fun thing that always happens with me and Dan when we get together. We always get at least one picture when we're at a competition. But just so you guys know, I am Daddy Dan. I am his official pop tab holder.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anytime you see us at the same competition, you will see Dan carrying a can beer most of the time, and he is going to put the pop tab in my pocket. You can't wear a Speedo kilt. Oh, good Lord. Yukon is thinking.
I think they call that a mini skirt, Danny.
Oh man. So this was in Nashville, and this was kind of a random thing, and old Dan's trying to give me a kiss on the cheek here. So I actually had to pay him back for this picture at Monsters Ball and got him. Which at this point, Dan's a little gone, and he's not sure exactly what to think. But and then of course we got our kind of our family group picture, which we were missing Andrew from that shot. I think he was downstairs running amok somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was playing on, but he wasn't in the group for some reason.
There you go. So.
And we're back to the Buffalo.
Yeah, and we're back to the Buffalo. I'm almost thinking we're going to have to lob it. Oh, my goodness. That can't be.
That was an old picture. That's when I was just deciding to bring in the full beard. Before that, I was doing the goatee.
So, just so you know, Haley is screaming from the background. That's just wrong. So, now that's acceptable. The goatee with the braids, like.
Yeah. Well, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, you do. You do. It's not about the size of your beard. It's about the size of your heart.
That's right.
But keep the beard, brother. Keep the beard.
There's my love.
That's a great picture of you guys too. So now I already know this answer, but for the people that may not, what is your favorite category in competition?
So I guess it's questionable. I obviously Sasquatch. I got my long hair tied up right now, but Sasquatch, even though I don't typically do very well because somebody named Andrew or somebody else usually is there, whatever, If it's not that, it's full beard, obviously.
So I don't know if you saw this. Charms is now trying to figure out if he can convince me if they raise enough money for me to wear a Speedo. We got to put a good number on that. And we got to figure out a charity if that's the case.
What we're talking about here.
I'm thinking there's got to be 3 zeros at the end of that somewhere.
That's not a bad goal. I've watched an auction for a beard to be shaved off for $500 that turned around to an auction to keep it up to $1,000, back to an auction to shave it off for $1,500, back to an auction for $2,000 to keep it, and it happened. So you never know.
Now they're asking the number. I'll have to think on that, guys. I'll have to think on that. So I'll have to think on it, Yukon. That's Haley's saying it's got to be a high number. You know it's bad when the wife doesn't want to see you in a Speedo. So,
or maybe she just doesn't want everybody else to see you in a Speedo. We don't know.
Yeah. Like I said, shocking. But so I really do appreciate you coming on tonight too. I know that you're a busy man most of the time. 50. That is not what I'm saying, Andrew. 3 zeros before the decimal point.
They got to be on the other side of the decimal point. To the left.
So yeah, it's got to move. It's got to move over a little further. So, or sorry, this way. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out. Nah, there we go. Andrew got me.
Now you got it backwards. There you go.
Reverse camera. I'm like, I'm pointing the right way, but the camera says no. So, all right. So, we've got the competition coming up, and I'm guessing this is going to be the last one for the year for you. What's 2023 looking like for not only for you and Carol, but for Oklahoma chapter and whatnot? What do you guys got looking like? You guys going to do a lot more traveling this year, or?
Well, I don't know about if I can do a lot more traveling. I mean, I'm pretty much at least a comp a month, if not more, depending. Because down here, Mob has a lot down in Texas. There's a lot that happened down this way, so just very that's happened. But I'm going to be.
It would have to be a new Speedo, Barefoot. Just putting that out there.
So I know in April for sure, if you haven't heard, Wicked Whiskers is putting on their second annual, and
of course,
it's a Viking theme, and they honored me by asking me to be a judge at that one, so I will be there. So it plays kind of like this year. So we talked about it's been a wild ride this year. Had a knee replacement in March. And everything kind of went from there, how I traveled, because you got to do the recovery. And then, of course, the Buffalo was a nice addition in the middle of the year. So February, I'm planning on getting my other knee replaced to make sure I'm plenty good for the comp for Wicked Whiskers. And obviously, I'll be at Monsters Ball. And everything else in the middle, it just kind of happened. I hope to go to You Matter. I don't know if I'll make it or not, but I hate promising.
Don't make me stop by and pick you up.
And a lot
Oklahoma's
of the
not that far out of the way.
yeah, a lot of the comps in Texas we make, so it's very possible. But
I'm just saying,
I'm, I'm
if
not
you and Carol
hoping.
want a carpool, I will. Me and Haley will make the stop and come grab you guys. I'll think about it, Barefoot. We'll have to talk about that. You'll have to get with me, and we'll have to figure out a way to communicate since you don't have Facebook. So, but
If you come
maybe,
to Oklahoma City this weekend, you can talk about it.
yeah. Well, keep on. You never know with Haley. Now, I
Well,
will say this is Haley's birthday weekend.
well, happy birthday, Haley. You can
She.
come out and celebrate.
I think we both have to take Monday off at that point, but just has to
Well,
happen.
those things have happened.
Um, if this is serious and you guys are that interested in the idea of raising money, we may put a post up and talk about it a little further. And no, Andrew, it's going to be more because I want it to mean something. If I'm going to do it, it's going to have to mean something. So I'm fixing to hide your current comment. Like, he's going to get rid of that. So
You're
I am
welcome.
definitely. If we're gonna do it, I want it to mean something. I want it to go to charity. And now, if Dan will do it with me,
That chance,
see,
though.
look at him shaking his head.
Nothing goes under the kilt, and I wear a kilt, so that's why it's a kilt, not a skirt.
Don't know where you've been, but you won first prize. See, I can say that to you, and you know what I'm talking about. You know the song, so. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for getting to come on tonight. I know we're going to kind of start wrapping up here in a few minutes. We still got a little bit of time. There is a few other questions I got to ask. Biggest thing that I want to talk about right now is I kind of want to dive back into a little bit into your history. How did you decide to get it? Like, how did you get into the beard and mustache community? Like, I know that like most veterans, like as soon as you got out of the service is when you started growing your beard.
I wasn't actually out when I started growing my beard. I was on terminal leave, so I didn't shave. So, and I just did. I spent 26 years in the military, always shaving. As Andrew so kindly put up my almost retirement picture. I shaved my head too because it was just way easier than going to the barber shop. But when I got done, it kind of flip flopped. It went from, okay, I'm shaving head, my entire head except for my mustache. And I went to okay, I'm not shaving anything. I'm not cutting anything. I'm just letting it go. So I actually heard about Mad Viking. And I saw the Mad Viking Oklahoma chapter. I started talking to then the president left, and he's like, "Yeah, come on out." And I love helping people. So I also do charity work for Honoring America's Warriors, where I lead all the projects for home remodels for veterans. So I was already doing that. They were talking about what their charity was going to be that year. They were like, "Hey, come out, talk about your charity. We're having a couple different folks come out and talk their charities." They didn't end up going with us, which I didn't care. It is what it is. We got a bunch of different ones. We went with at that time Toby Keith, which is the exact same meeting that I got voted in as a member, and it just kind of blossomed from there. I didn't join to do anything other than participate and help out, and it just kind of snowballed after that. Went from that to VP to president, and here we are. And now Oklahoma chapter is stuck with me as president, apparently, for at least 2 more years.
Hey, I'm happy that you guys are still out there and you guys are doing your thing. Like, I know that there were some stressors going on. I'm not going to get into details. That's nobody else's business. But I know that you guys had, me and you talked about it briefly through Nashville, and then of course in Monsters Ball that you had some different stressors going on with the club and the chapter, and it looks like you guys are coming back and going strong and moving forward to do great things.
And I
So
don't know, and I know it wasn't just us. I've got beard brothers and sisters in pretty much every different club that's out there, really.
yeah,
And
same.
it seemed like kind of a 2023 or 2022 thing that there was just craziness all over the place. Where I don't know what was going on. Every club seemed to have a ripple here and there along the year, and it is what it is. I mean, all you do is, you know, dig in the
It's
court.
I look at it as growing pains, like, and that's kind of the big thing that I've seen. You're talking about, like, it's not just exclusive to your chapter. It's happened in our chapters. It's happened in different clubs I've seen. And there's been a lot of good clubs that have come and gone over the last decade, and it's sad to see them go. And sometimes they reform into better clubs or into the same thing, just going a different route. But
Right.
I'm happy that everybody is still out there in the community and doing their part. So
Absolutely. I mean, that's what it's about. I mean, if you're doing it for any other reason than helping people, you're probably doing it for the wrong reason. Some people may not like that I say that, but I mean, anybody who knows me knows I cut to the chase. I don't sugarcoat shit. So if I say something that offends you, I apologize, but you can bet it's from the heart. It's something I believe. Otherwise, I wouldn't say it. Sometimes you just got to call the baby ugly, And our whole purpose is charity. So if you're not there for charity, if you're not there for helping people, you're probably there for the wrong reason. And
then why the hell are you there?
Right.
And that's something I've always respected about you is I've known you now for a couple of years. You've always went straight to the point, and I'm grateful for that. So
I don't see the same one. I'm old, so I don't really give a damn if I piss people off. Honestly, my grandmother, by the way. But I don't see the point in playing the game. I'm not big into drama. Let's just cut to the chase, figure out what's going on, and that is what it is.
Bombshells is just here for the kilts, apparently. So, all right. So, last question that I want to ask, and I ask everybody this question. I got to know. I want to hear either your guilty pleasure or your most embarrassing moment, or both. Yeah. I had a feeling that was coming.
That's not embarrassing. It was just hurtful pride thing there,
I mean, truthfully, that's not embarrassing. That just makes him a superhero.
That's kind of embarrassing. My guilty pleasure. I don't know. Maybe scotch. I love good scotch.
You can never go wrong with a good scotch.
That's probably my biggest guilty pleasure. If I can find a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue laying around,
that's a tough one.
It can be. It's not a cheap one.
No. I've got a bottle of scotch. It was my Christmas gift last year, and I haven't drunk a lot out of it because I'm trying to cherish it and kind of save it. Haley for Christmas last year got me a bottle of Macallan 15-year double cask, and I will probably have a drink out of it on Christmas Day, and then I'll put it back. I'll put the cork back in, and I'll leave it sitting. So
That won't last that long in this house. You've been hanging around though, because I just haven't really broke them out lately. But it's probably because when I do, I'm just like, okay, that was good. Let's have another one.
Yeah, I find I do that more at the beard comps than I do at home. So, which is stupid because, I spend less money at home. I spend less money at home than I do when we're out of beard comps.
Well, yeah, because you're at home. That was always my theory. I'm not a big bar drinker because I can drink 3, 4 times as much at my house for a quarter of the price, but
And
you
less
can't
of a
go wrong.
headache trying to get home. So,
You can't go wrong with a beer comp though. So, I
never.
mean, if you're not having a good time, there's something wrong with you.
And you don't have to
What?
drink to have a good time.
Yeah, exactly. Whether you're drinking or not, if you're not having a good time at a beer comp, you are doing something wrong.
Yeah, you are not hanging out with the right group of people at the beard comp then.
Absolutely.
So if you guys are out in the OKC area, please get out there to this comp. Dan, Barefoot, the Holbies are going to show you a great time, and you get to raise money for the sharing tree. And there is, we can go ahead and put the runner back up, Andrew. Sharing tree, sharingtreeok.org, I think is what it said at the bottom of it. If you guys, even if you can't make it out there, you guys can still get on there and donate and help out. But let's try to help them out. Let's make sure some families get some stuff this year for Christmas. This year has not been an easy year for anybody when it comes to just the way the economy is going. So I want to make sure that every kid has something, at least one thing for Christmas this year.
Absolutely.
So,
Come on,
all right, come out there and see him. I promise he'll show you a good time. You can ask him what's under the kilt. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. Dan, if you want to sit in the background, we can wrap up. We can talk a little bit after the show, and then we can go ahead and call this a night. So we're getting close to our mark. But all right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have been great, like always. It's been a fun one. And if the Barefoot, if you're still in there watching, we'll figure out a way to communicate about the potential Speedo thing, and we'll talk a little further about it. So we'll go ahead and do, of course, our wrap up here, guys. Do not forget, of course, I am actually going to talk a little bit about You Matter, but I also want to bring up, of course, one of our main sponsors for the show is Mr. Boston Scally himself. I'm actually wearing one of the Peakies tonight. This is actually one of my favorite colors. Gray goes with everything. It's a super comfortable 6-panel. If you got her, yeah, this one's 8-panel on this one. I got a fat head, so sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. But it's one of my favorite hats. It's actually one of my go-tos when I'm not working. Of course, I wear my Stone Rose Peaky when I'm at work. But got a good bunch of cool hats that came out this week. Last week they just did a re-release of the Kringle. This week they did the Night Before and the Wonderland, which are the Christmas edition hats. They still got some up there on the website right now. Use the code Bearded Rook for 15% off. It actually works out for most of them. With shipping, you're like right around $55, which is actually a pretty good deal for them. And then they've, of course, they have their own programs. They've got a couple good sales going on. My code will get you a little bit of a better price. So if you guys are looking for a hat, or somebody that is going to be looking for a Scally, go check it out. Of course, we're going to talk about the comps coming up. Everybody knows that I am a big fan right now of, and going to be pushing this one to the moon. We have, of course, You Matter, which has been flashed up on the screen a couple times. You Matter 2, Beard or Mustache competition, being hosted by Honest Amish. And then, of course, all the benefits are going to go out there. We've got OKC this weekend, Core 4. We got that one going on that we were just talking about for Sharing Tree. The raffle is still up for Bam Bam, $5 a spot. A lot of cool products in there. We're going to be throwing in a shirt, the BWB T-shirt that we had. That's going to be up there for you guys as well. Think Scott is running that through December 16th. So if you guys have not had a chance to get on there, it's on our page. Hit it up. Get Scott a couple of bucks there to get your raffle spots. All that money is going to go to help out Bam Bam with his prosthetic and the surgery and whatnot that he's going to have to go through. And if you guys have not met Bam Bam, he is a wonderful person, big part of Beard Mob Tennessee, and he needs our help. So let's make sure to help him out as much as we can. I don't have the flyer on here tonight. I will have it on the next week's episode. There is a Highland Games, like I mentioned earlier in the episode, going on February 11th that weekend down in Tallahassee or right around Tallahassee, Florida. They will be having a beard and mustache competition at the event, and looks like I'm going to try to make the trip. So super excited about that one. Of course, you got Wicked Whiskers coming up in April. You've got Bearded Hero Endgame in March. There's so many good comps. If you guys have not went and take a look at the beardcalendar.com, like that is 100% the best place to go to see what's coming up for the year 2023. There is going to be a lot of competitions going on and a lot of charities that are going to be supported. So please get in there and check it out. Yeah, you should definitely be closer to that one, Bombshells. Like, that's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be taking some pictures for you, though. Don't worry. I'll make sure to get that up in the crew chat and, of course, all over Facebook and maybe even some TikTok. If you guys don't know, because I haven't really pushed it out there yet, I did create a TikTok for Bearding Without Borders and, of course, my own page as well. I'm going to be putting some stuff up there. If you get a chance, come over and check me out on TikTok. Give me a follow. It's Bearded Rook. And I'll be making sure everybody knows once I get the first video up for the Bearding Without Borders TikTok, and then I'll be getting the Instagram kind of set up. So I'm kind of just doing this gradual. So I want to ask a question, and I should have asked this probably towards the beginning of the episode, but we're going to just go ahead and ask it now. I'm debating on whether to take a 2-week hiatus just to kind of get some things cleaned up, get the audio side of the platform set right here at the end of the year. So right before Christmas and then of course New Year's. Would you guys want to still get a couple more episodes in? Because I got some really cool guests lined up for that time. Just want to see what you guys think. You're more than welcome. Even if the episode ends, you can comment on here. So I just want to do what we can to help you guys out. Maybe we'll even do a Christmas giveaway, or we'll find some way to raise a little bit of money right at the beginning of the year. Maybe we'll do the Speedo thing. See what happens. So, but I want to say I do love you guys. You guys have been great. Just like always. Remember, always leave things better than how you found it. And, of course, as always, leave a legacy. Got a little bit of a hoodie plug going on right now. My friends down at Ready Print in Georgia printed me up a custom hoodie. I'll get some pictures up there here soon about that. But have a great night, guys. Be safe and enjoy your weekend.